Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. And we'd like to say hello to Reverend Robert, who is watching us live streaming on Facebook.
Hello.
Whoa.
Hey,
Robert.
My name is Val Cary, and I am one of the prayer chaplains for our congregation. Reverend Robert is resting at home at the suggestion of his doctors as he recovers from a minor procedure. He is doing well and will be back with us next Sunday. We are glad to have you here with us today, and for those of you who are watching via Facebook live streaming. Many of you are aware that I had minor jaw surgery on my left jaw in early November. About 8 months ago, I started experiencing jaw pain and restricted opening. After meeting with my dentist, then an orthodontist, and then an oral surgeon, plus an MRI, I was diagnosed with a slipped disc in my jaw, which was causing the pain and the restricted opening. Following the diagnosis, the first oral surgeon that I met with, who had come highly recommended, did not accept insurance. Thus began the search for another oral surgeon. So my insurance company was great. They looked within a 35-mile radius, and I found Dr. Alford. And looking back, I realized that through this process, I found I had to dig deep and rely on unity principles that I had learned throughout the years. Trust that this oral surgeon was the right person to do my surgery. Have patience while waiting for appointments with my dentist, then the orthodontist, then the first oral surgeon, then the second oral surgeon. This was a process, and there were weeks between. And then once Dr. Alford told me about the surgery, I had to wait a couple of months for that. So, perseverance through the pain and discomfort prior to the surgery, and eating only allowed foods, which was really hard because I'm very much a foodie. Lastly, experiencing gratitude at the ways that people showed up to support and care for me. And I had to have faith. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." During the process, I focused on the following thoughts. Faith that the surgery would go well. Faith that for the week that I was away from work, that things would go smoothly. And faith that the recovery and the healing would go well. Charles Fillmore says that faith in the spiritual man quickens spiritual understanding. So when we exercise our faith, we more easily understand what the right choices are at the right time. The surgery went really well, the incision healed quickly, and my post-surgery physical therapy really helped to give me an improved range of motion and opening. A little more than a week ago, I awoke to find my right jaw locking. Needless to say, I was extremely disappointed, frustrated, confused, and a bit angry. Thankfully, that week, I had a follow-up appointment already scheduled with my oral surgeon, and we talked through why this might be happening and how to address it without hopefully having to have the same surgery on my right jaw. Once again, I had to dig deeply and rely on unity principles to get me through this new event. I realized that my anger was from fear, false evidence appearing real. I had expected no further issues and was relying on my own understanding and expectations about the original process. In my ego thinking that this shouldn't be happening, I was edging God out. I had to let go and let God. I had to stop and listen to my intuition for information on how to proceed, and to know that sometimes there are detours in life. Sometimes things don't work out the way that we think they're going to or that we expect they're going to. I spent a lot of time in the past 8 months mentally focused on what I perceived as a problem rather than an opportunity. Our brain wants to solve problems. That's one of its primary functions. But excessive focus exhausts the focus circuits in your brain. It can drain your energy and make you lose self-control. This energy drain can make you more impulsive and less helpful. As a result, decisions are poorly thought out and you become less collaborative. The brain operates optimally when there is a toggle between focus and unfocus, allowing you to develop resilience, enhance creativity, and make better decisions. Also, research suggests that when you focus too much on a problem, you might be hindering the ability to arrive at a solution. There's a really interesting study by a research team at Northwestern University. They set out to learn whether analysis or insight is a better way to address a problem. They presented to more than 200 students problems involving word puzzles, anagrams, and other types of puzzles. As it turned out, the solutions that were found by insight were significantly more likely to be the right answers than those that were done using analysis. You see, insight involves the brain utilizing a synthesis of information that you already know and deductions that you make at an unconscious level. In his book, The 12 Powers, Charles Fulmer says that thoughts make things, and the material ideas that are pressing upon us are just as substantial in the realm of mind as material things are substantial in the realm of matter. Every origin in thought and material thoughts will bring forth material things. So we have to be really careful in our thinking. Our thinking can be helpful or it can be hurtful. What is it we're focusing on, good or bad, positive or negative? Sometimes stepping away from a problem will give your intellect a rest. And trusting your insight, trusting your intuition, that still small voice of spirit within, can assist you to the right path. In his book, The Golden Key, Emmett Fox states, the way to get you or anyone you know out of difficulty of any kind is prayer. Prayer is the overcomer, as it focuses the mind on the answer to the prayer, and the answer to any problem is God. And they explained that the golden key is a simple process, and some would dismiss it for that, believing that something so simple cannot be effective, but here it is. All you have to do is stop thinking about the problem, whatever the problem is, and whoever it involves, and instead, think about God. This is the golden key to prayer. When you do this, the problem will begin to melt away, and it makes no difference on how large or how small the problem is, and what or who it involves. There will be an end to it when you replace it with God. Could the answer be simpler? It could not. And yet, if you give it a fair trial, you'll find it works like magic. The attributes you choose to dwell on while thinking of God should be those that pertain to the problem at hand. For quarrels or fallouts, you may want to declare, God is peace and harmony. God is love and inclusion. And so am I, or we. For lack of many, you could say, God is abundance and exuberance. God is overflowing with wealth. And whatever is true of him is true of me. If the problem is health, say, God is health and harmony, the great restorer and healer. And with God, all things are possible. A miracle is happening in my life right now. If your problem is overweight, you may say, God is nature and all of nature is perfect, and ideal weight and size, and all that is true of God is true of me. So as we experience what appear to be upsets in our lives, let us remember that sometimes some things just take time. Sometimes we move forward, sometimes we move backwards. Problems are really opportunities. Remember that fear is just false evidence appearing real, and that ego can be you edging God out. If we remember to focus on God, not on the problem, and remember that we truly are a divine idea manifested into being, we can more easily navigate our lives and experience all the blessings that God has in store for us. If we take time in the silence, giving our brain and bodies a rest, allowing Spirit to work in and through us in all its magnificent ways, we allow our lives to unfold in the perfect manner it was meant to be. And know that there is always hope. Hope is defined as an optimistic state of mind that is based on an expectation of positive outcomes with respect to events and circumstances in one's life or in the world at large. Its definitions include expect with confidence and to cherish a desire with anticipation. And as we go back to the Bible verse mentioned earlier, Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Charles Fulmer says that faith works on and on and on after all reason is exhausted. When set into activity according to law, faith will lay hold of the very basic substance of being and create just what is needed to perfect the desired outcome. Focus on your thoughts this week on God, and through faith and hope, know that all is well. Thanks for the opportunity to be here with you this morning, those of you here in person and those you watching the Facebook live streaming. And I know that you will have a wonderful week ahead of you, filled with great love and joy. Thank you.